Before you chase success, before you talk about purpose, passion, or goals, you need to master 6 unshakable principles that the smallest creature on Earth, the ant, lives by every single day. In this video, we'll break down the mindset that keeps you moving, the belief that fuels your identity, the discipline that silences excuses, the adaptability that keeps you alive in chaos, the resilience that makes you unbreakable, and the consistency that builds a legacy from the ground up that if you want to win in life, not just once, but forever, don't skip a second. Every chapter builds on the last. Every lesson gets you closer to becoming unstoppable. Stay with me to the very end, because at the end of this video, you won't just be inspired, you'll be transformed. In the silence of the morning, before the world wakes up, there is a war. Not out there, inside you. A war between comfort and commitment, between the moment and the mission, between who you are and who you could become. Most people lose, but not the ant, because the ant doesn't need applause. It doesn't crave permission. It doesn't wait for motivation. It just moves. Every single day. Mindset. The foundation of the unseen. Before a single goal is reached, before a habit is formed, before action takes shape, there is a mindset. Mindset is the origin of all greatness. Before anything begins, before success, before discipline, before consistency, there is a mindset. Your mind is the battlefield. If you lose here, you lose everywhere else. This is where greatness is born or buried. The ant isn't strong. It isn't fast. It doesn't roar like a lion or soar like an eagle, but it never stops moving. It wakes up with a single thought: build, not when it's convenient, not when it's easy, every day, without fail. Because the ant understands something we forget: success isn't sudden. It's stacked, brick by brick, step by step, grain by grain. While the world is waiting for perfect conditions, the ant is already 10 steps ahead. Belief. The quiet force that moves mountains. You won't rise beyond what you believe you are before the world believes in you, before results appear. You must believe when nothing around you gives you permission to. No claps for the ant. There are no cameras, no highlights, no headlines. Because belief doesn't need validation, real belief is quiet. It's internal. It's a whisper that says, I will become, even if nobody sees me now. The ant doesn't shout about its goals. It walks in them. Because belief isn't in what you say. It's in what you repeat, relentlessly, even when the world forgets your name. Discipline. The edge that cannot be broke. Motivation fades. Emotion changes. Discipline? That's eternal. It is the edge most people never develop, and the one thing that separates the daydreamers from the doers. The ant doesn't wait for a spark. It is the spark. Discipline is not about feeling like it. It's about doing it anyway. When it rains, the ant works. When it's hot, the ant works. When it's hard, the ant works. Because discipline isn't an event, it's a rhythm. And if you ever want to build something that lasts, not intense once, a dream, a legacy, a life you're proud of, you need that rhythm to become your heartbeat. Not intense once, but always consistent. Adaptability. How the ant defeats the impossible. Life doesn't care about your plan. It will break it, tear it apart. What matters is not what happens, but how you respond. Block the ant's path, and it finds another. Flood the trail, and it swims. Burn the hill, and it builds again. This is adaptability, the refusal to stay broken. The ant doesn't argue with the obstacle. It studies it, moves, adjusts, continues. You think failure is final. The ant sees it as redirection. And if you want to survive in the real world, you must stop clinging to comfort and start moving through the chaos. Because the strongest aren't those who never fall. They're the ones who rise smarter. Resilience. The strength to rise again and again. The world will try to break you. That's a promise. What defines you is what happens next. Crush the ant, it returns. Destroy the nest, it rebuilds. Again and again. Resilience is the ultimate power. It's not loud. It doesn't cry for attention, but it's there, in every step you take after failure. In every second, you continue when giving up would be easier. Most people break once. But the ant, it refuses. That's what makes it immortal in the face of pressure. Because pain is a visitor, but purpose is a home, and the ones who endure the fire become it. Consistency. The real engine of greatness. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be seen. You need to move, quietly, relentlessly, like the ant, because power isn't in intensity. It's in consistency, in showing up long after the crowd is gone, in building while others sleep, in believing before the result arrives. In showing up long after the crowd is gone. In building while others sleep. In believing before the result arrives. Let others chase sparks. You build fires. Let others wait for signs. You become the sign, because when you master discipline and marry it with resilience, there is nothing you cannot build.